before Cirque du Soleil, it was a variety show. They had guys riding in a metal ball on motorcycles. They had go-go dancers. They had jugglers. It was just like this smorgasbord of entertainment, but they called it Splash. It was the #1 Vegas show at the time.
Remember they had like a topless review?
Yeah, it was called Crazy Girls.
Crazy Girls.
Yep.
Wow.
The Riviera was the room at that time.
The week we did it, the week I did it with Rogan, we did Friday night, and then Saturday before the show, we went down to the bar to meet another comic who was in Vegas, Norm McDonald, not Norm McDonald, Norm, the first guy, the one that invented smidgets.
Oh man.
Or something, Norm something. He lives in Montana. He was there, so we went down to meet him, and there was a girl that was a fucking 12. The body, she was beautiful. She was another girl, and she clung on to Rogan.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the security phone said, "Joe Rogan, pick up security." Me and Joe like, "Yeah, go pick up the phone." And Joe comes back all uncomfortable, and he goes, "I gotta talk to you." He goes, "You know that girl we're talking to? She's really a tranny." And I go, "What are you talking about? Look at her body." And she goes, "She's a fucking tranny."
He had no idea.
We sat down next to her, and we asked her. And she goes, "Yeah. In fact, I got fired from Crazy Girls. I'm suing the Riviera because they fired me because I was transgender." So after I got a couple of drinks in me, I'm like, "Let me ask you a question. Show me that little fucking bat between your legs." And she's like, "I can't." I go, "Show it to me. I've never seen a transgender little pussy before. Just show it to Uncle Joey. Give me a shot." And Joe Rogan and me were looking right there. She had no panties on. She pulled back her skirt and she gave us a shot with that little bat. And it looked like somebody took a drill bit, the hole, whatever it's called. I don't know what that thing is called. They held it out and they took it out. They took the dick off. They just cleaned it out and they like sewed a clit onto it.
Wait, really?
And they just put a piece of artificial turf, like a little, it was like a wig. They have them now for pussies. Little vaginal wigs. Have you seen those?
No.
You could shave your monkey and order a vaginal wig, and it has like little.
Where do you buy this?
I have no idea. I saw it on Facebook.
Wait, Joey, this was what year?
This is '98.
This is like before all the good surgery we have now.
Yes.
So she was like a trendsetter.
She was fucking badass, and she was suing the Riviera,
Crazy Girls.
And the NBC had given a developmental deal. That's when reality was going to start being big, and they were going to show her life and shit. Like she could have been lying. Who the fuck knows? But that's the last time.
Yeah.
I walked into the Riviera. Once she gave me a shot of that.
So you don't even know she was telling the truth?
No, but
she could have been just showing you a really bad vagina.
No, she was real.
Oh, it was real?
Sharippa saw it on the security.
Really?
Rogan, he goes, "Before you take her to the room or think, she's broken. The damaged goods. Like, don't take it to the room by mistake. She's a man that became a woman. Beautiful. With 3 drinks and a half gram of coke in me, she would have looked out. I would have tore that little man-made pussy apart, dog. You know what I'm saying? With a couple Coke rocks and a Quaalude. At least you could blame it on the Quaalude. I didn't know she was a man. That pussy was good.
Yeah.
She had ice cubes in her mouth. Whatever the fuck you want to say. It was fucking crazy. And it looked like, somebody had opened their mouth and go, you know, in the commercials, in the cartoons, when somebody goes, and they see the bell?
Yeah.
And she had one of those bells hanging. Like, just like a little fucking bell that you went up to, like a gong. Gong.
This is a true story.
That was the last time.
How long did you see for? Huh? How long did she keep her legs open for?
Like a minute.
Jesus.
Just show me the bat. She's like, "I can't." What kind of person would I be? You'd be fucking educational.
Yeah.
I've never seen one of those. Show it to Uncle Joey. And she just took it, me and Rogan, wow. And then I wrote a bit about it. Like, I was like, you know, she showed me a little bat with wings. It was fucking disturbing. It was fucking disturbing, but hilarious. But enough with that shit, because I was out with Eddie. Used to make me laugh, man. Eddie has always made me laugh. But Eddie has the same problem. I grew up with 2 guys that I adored. One was Stinky, because he was Italian. Like, if you saw him, he was Italian. But once he had 3 drinks, his grandmother was American Indian. And he was just... And I had another friend that hung up with. His name was Jimmy Burkle. The guy was the personality, like... great personality, great guy. But brother, when he drank, like, he was really smart. But when he drank, his eyebrow would go up and he would start smoking cigarettes and act differently. So we used to call him the Marquis de Sade because he was crazy. Like, whenever he drank, he'd just go crazy. But, like I met Eddie a couple times when we went out, and there was 3 particular times. There was one night in Austin where you and me and Joe went out to do a show, and then we went to Fogo de Chao, and you started drinking that Fogo de fucking Chao. And that night, Eddie he forgot where he was staying at his hotel, and he went to the wrong hotel, so they chased you down the street, and you fell and you slid on your knees. And
Damn, you remember that shit.
Come on, dog. You used to have some good, when you were single, and I admire people who have a life. And I admire people, like anybody can hang out with people who are cool. You know what I'm saying? Those people, like, I'm going to hang out with Teddy Diggs. And I like people who go out and make something happen by themselves, because that was always me.
Right.
I knew how to fucking get an 8-ball, 2 joints, and go to a neighborhood bar by myself.
Yeah.
And next thing you know,
I went out by myself all the fucking time. Guys wanted to come out with me, and I'm like, okay, you can come, but you got to drive your own car because I'm not going to drive you home.
Right.
Like, you got to, I go by I would, between 88 and 92, I went out by myself. Those were the.
And that's your best bet.
Yeah.
As a single man, you getting those clicks that we're doing this, Vegas, that sucks. I always believe to start a little neighborhood bar, and if the neighborhood bar isn't good, then you go to the big bar to meet more people. But 9 out of 10, the neighborhood bar got everything you're looking for.
Keep it simple.
The little married chick, she's unhappy. Her husband just took the second job, but she's down to do a line of coke. You got that bitch. It's over. You got the blowjob, something. You know what I'm saying? Like, Eddie always had the classic Eddie Bravo story is when he went to Germany with Rogan.
Oh, yeah.
And he fucking woke up in the middle of the night and realized he was late. Break it down, Eddie.
Man,
I love
there's so much to that Germany story. Joe wrote a blog about it. It was so crazy. Joe wrote it because he was fucking mad at me. Oh,
what
man.
year was this?
This is
He was smoking already.
2007, 2008. I think it was the first time. It was the first time the UFC went to Germany, and it was Cologne, Germany. And after the UFC, which is a Saturday night there, generally Sunday morning is the flight home.
Right.
And when we're overseas, I like, because we went to England a bunch of times, and we would do this in England. After the UFC, don't go to sleep. Party all night, right until and then when you get on that plane the next morning, you pass out.
Just sleep.
For fucking 10 hours, didn't you wake up, you're in LA. It's the perfect system.
Right.
It sucks being awake, on a 10-hour flight.
Oh, it's the worst.
Dude, it's torture. So you want to stay up and party just so that you could just sleep through that flight. So I party all goddamn night. Joe didn't come out, but I went out. I don't know who the fuck I was with. It was an insane night in Cologne, Germany, and
They say Germany's amazing.
I got back to the hotel probably 7 in the morning or something, and our car, me and Joe's car, it was Joe's car, and I'm just like tagging along with Joe, you know what I mean? It's his car.
Right.
Was picking us up like at 9. I get back at 7, right? I walk in to the hotel, and I'm a zombie. I'm completely out. I don't remember any of this. This is just, I must have been, because Joe saw me. He was in the lobby, and he's like, and I went up to my room. I tried to pack, I guess. And I have a certain way of packing. Everyone's got a little system, right? In my backpack, my laptop,
right,
and I got my toiletries in my backpack, and in my in my suitcase got all my clothes and just basically all my clothes. Right. So I don't remember getting back to the hotel. I don't remember Joe saying we're leaving in 2 hours. I don't remember any of that.
You just went hard.
You know what I remember? All I remember is it's black and it's and then my phone's going off. My phone's going off, and I wake up and I'm in the back seat of some car going on the Autobahn, racing to the airport. And I don't know where the fuck I'm at. And I look at my phone and it says Joe Rogan on it. It said actually Joie Wash. That's what it said. So it says Joie Wash. And I'm like, and I answered it. And he said, where the fuck are you? You took my car. And I'm like, boom, and I hung up, and I'm like, what? And I asked the driver, I asked the driver, I go, where the fuck are we going? He turns back and goes, we're going to the airport. I'm like, fuck. And then Joe calls again. I'm like, fuck. And I just send it to voicemail. I'm like, holy shit. And then I opened up my backpack. My one shoe is in my backpack. No laptop, just one shoe in my back. And then I open up the suitcase, and my laptop's in the fucking suitcase. So I feel like, oh my God, where the fuck am I?
Dude, I've had those
And then
nights.
Joe called again and goes, dude, you took my car. And I don't remember anything. So I must have just tried to pack like in a zombie state.
Yeah.
I packed in a zombie state, and I went out, and that driver must have said, Joe Rogan. And I must have said, yes. And he goes, jump on in. And he just put me in the car, and we drove away. And then, I don't remember any of that. I came to life. It's like the beginning of a movie, like, just black, and then you hear a phone, and all of a sudden, boom, my eyes open.
You're like, reality.
Joe Rogan trying to call me. I have no the last thing I remember, I'm doing shots at some bar in Germany. I don't remember getting home. I don't remember going to the hotel, packing, and then getting in the car. I woke up in the back seat of some fucking car on the Autobahn, racing to the airport. So I get to the airport, right? So Joe takes a taxi. He jumps in a taxi. And he is so mad at me at the airport.
Yeah.
He would not talk to me. He didn't talk to me the whole time at the airport. All the whole flight back, we're sitting next to each other like first class, and he didn't say a word to me. And he was mad probably for about a week. And then he wrote a blog, and then he realized, okay, it's over. He should kind of like, laugh about it. So then it became a joke to him, but he was fucking furious, dude. But there's a blog somewhere on the internet. I don't know. I don't know if it's got to still be up there.
We all bomb in life every day, because bombing basically is 70% mental. Bombing is 70 to 80% mental. And I just learned this 5 years ago. How long have I been back at the store?
I think it's been like 4 or 5 years now.
4 or 5 years I've learned this. So this didn't come to me at the 20-year mark. Bombing is like anything else in your life that you go wrong. You lost in your mind before you showed up. And how do I know? Because I was the king of bombing.
Bombing.
You asked an interesting question before. One of the time I had met. Okay, so Joe's at the store, and one day during crossing, he said something to me, and I said something back, and we shook hands, and I knew him as Joe, and he would call me Joey. And then one day, we were both on the 405. How weird is that? There used to be a club in Orange County that on Wednesday nights it would get 400 people. It was a dinner theater. When I first got here, and they pay you $200 on a third, but it was rough. It was white people in Orange County with white hair.
Still rough.
Still rough, and it was a dinner theater, so they went in there to get salmon and mashed potatoes or whatever the fuck it was, and you had to go up there, and they only liked the headliner, the MC, and the feature always bombed. And I'll never forget being in bumper-to-bumper traffic and looking over to my left, and it was Joe Rogan. He had a Supra at the time, and he opened up his window, and he goes, "Where you headed?" And I go, "I'm going to Orange County to do a fucking gig, whatever, someplace." And he goes, "You're not going to be at the store tonight?" And I go, "Nah." And he goes, "You work in other places?" I go, "Yeah." And he was like, wow. Like, he didn't really understand. And then one night I'm at the store on a Friday night, and I'm bombing. I'm dying a slow death. At that time, I was going through a control issue. I want to learn how to control the audience. This is all that stupid white shit you bump into out here in your mind. It's just stand up. Just shut your fucking mouth.
Right.
Don't think. Just shut your mouth. This was the time in my life when I got into, you have to take long pauses to control them. And I went up there on a Friday night at the store, dog, and I bombed from the beginning. It was just a long bomb. And I'll never forget, at the 11-minute mark, I said to myself, this is killing me. And Joe Rogan yelled, "You're killing me." And I knew it was his voice distinctly. And I didn't know how to react to it. Like, when I get off stage, do I say something to this guy? Blah, blah, blah. And I go, you know what? He ain't lying. he ain't lying. I'm dying up here. This is a nightmare. And I walked off, and I saw him a week later, and I went up to him, and I go, hey, man, that night you said that. You're right. You know, I was like, he goes, bro, that was brutal. That's something. And after that, I said to him, what show are you on? And he told me. And he was like so courteous. He goes, if you want, come watch a taping. And I was like, really? In those days, I used to go to, our hobbies were to go to Politically Incorrect when it taped on Wilshire. Me, Stanhope, Mitch Hedberg, we'd all go down there.
Oh,
there was
wow.
a bunch of us. In those days, they used to tape Politically Incorrect at like 2:30 in the afternoon. So if you weren't doing anything, KP Anderson was the warm-up. So you could call KP and go,
Wow.
KP, I'm coming down, put me on a list. And you go into the audience, and then they would send you around a sheet of paper, comics, or people you wanted to see on Politically Incorrect. And we knew that Bill Maher hated Stanhope.
Oh, why?
So we would all put Stanhope on there and send it in and shit. This was just something you did to learn. Like, this is how cool it was then.
Yeah.
Like, you want to go see a show taping to learn. Like, you have to go to a show taping. And I went to News Radio, and the first time I sat in the audience. And Joe came over like a gentleman, and he says, is everything okay? And I go, yeah. And he goes, if Captain Creepy bothers you, let me know. Captain Creepy was the fucking warm-up guy. And in Joe's mind, Joe didn't smoke pot then, but in Joe's mind, the guy was a rapist. So Joe would actually fucking say it. Like, when I first met Joe, he did not smoke pot.
I remember.
He was by the book.
He was anti-pot, right?
He was anti-pot, and he was by the fucking book. And I'll never forget him coming up to me, and he had no manners. Like, he was very fucking, like, he would tell you.
Blunt. He's Boston, right?
Very, very blunt. And I'll never forget that he came up and he goes, are you having a good time? Yeah. And I went to one of the show tapings, but he came up and he goes, the guy was with Leah's. And he goes, don't let Captain Creepy fuck with you. And then that night I go, what do you call him, Captain Creepy? And he goes, that guy's definitely date rape people. And if you looked at this guy, he looked like a date raper. Like, you didn't want to judge, but when you looked at the guy, you're like, this guy raped somebody. He was so creepy. Like, this guy was a professional warm-up guy that was just, like, out there. Like, you knew, when he would flirt with women and he would try to get them up, like, and he would disappear with some of them. So they were, and you had Andy Dick on the set.
Oh, my God.
So Andy Dick would come up to you and talk to you. So then I became friends with him, and he would invite me to the show, and they would put me on the floor. And I'll never forget that they had a thing for people, and then they had a box for NBC, and they had shrimp cocktails, prawns, the size of my fucking gorilla hand.
I love those.
On the side of a thing, like 200 shrimp. And I walked in there, and I just started eating shrimp. And finally, somebody went up to Joe and said, who's that scary guy in the NBC room eating shrimp? And Joe came over there like, oh, my God, you're scaring everybody here with your leather jacket, because I had this big gorilla leather jacket on. But that's how we became friends.
That's awesome.
From that thing. And then I was working Miami. And
How'd you do in Miami?
At that time, I used to do great. And he called me, and he goes, where are you? And I go, I'm in Miami. He goes, fuck, I'll be there next week. And I go, I could stay. And I stayed, and Chris McGuire opened for him at the time. I just exchanged calls with Chris the other day.
Chris is wonderful.
Chris is wonderful. And I stayed and MC'd for him. And that's how I got to meet him more and more and more. And then over the years, at the store, you just built these store bonds that you see, the bond of a comic when we really love each other is just one of the strong, it's a gang. Like, I got into this to be in a gang. And I've never wanted to be in a gang in my life. I got into this to be in a gang. I was very disappointed when the Joe Rogan thing went down at the Comedy Store and the people didn't back him. That's when I started losing faith in comics. I didn't like that. That turned me off about comics. I don't feel that way anymore. It's a long time ago. But I didn't like that situation because it felt like comics were for themselves.
Someone made the wrong call on that one.
Right. That was
a bad move.
We get a lot of bad moves. And, I'm happy that he's back there. I'm back there.
It's changed the place.
I didn't get thrown out. I walked out of there on my own accord. I just knew that the government was changing. I knew that I had already, I had been there for 6 years. No, 97. It was 2007. I'd been there for 10 years. If this was Michigan, I would be out. If this was Illinois, I would be out. If this was Boston, the club owner would go, Joey, you got to do something. You're featuring, there's nowhere to go. How much farther can you go? So I left the store before Joe got thrown out. I saw the writing on the wall. I saw the dickhead coming in with his new attitude and his new regime, and I was hearing little things. And I said, you know what? I'm the type of guy that I'll end up getting into a fight down there and hitting him on the head or something, and I'll end up going to jail. I'm just going to stop going down there.
It was a dark time. I'm very thankful for it there, but it was a dark time. And I'm glad that Joe went back. And that has been the resurgence of that place. And now it's just this cooking with gas. Yeah. I look at you and I look at Joe and I look at a lot of people. Sometimes you have to leave the store. You have to leave.
One of the most important things in life is making sure nobody asks you to leave. I don't ever want to be in a situation. Since I was a kid, I always knew when I had to walk out of a room. I always knew when my mother was going to talk business. I always knew when men were talking business. I was never said, excuse us. I don't ever want you to tell me, excuse me. I should pick it up by the body language and what's going on in the fucking room. And the same applies to life. You have to know when it's time to walk away.
Yep.
And stick to your guns and walk away and take your chances. And go, that's it, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to become a comic. And for a year, I'm going to eat shit. I'm going to drink ramen and live in my car, but this is what's going to happen. I can't, that's the transition between quitting your day job and becoming a comic. The first year is the hardest part you ever had. Years ago, there was a lady called Donna Richards, and she booked out of Portland, and she booked a volcano room. And it was in a hotel, and it was in some part of Oregon, but it's on the other side opposite Portland, real close there. So this Spokane and another city is all you have for civilization.
Yeah.
So they called it the Tri-Cities. My God, when I moved to, right before I moved to LA, I met a girl at that volcano room on a Friday night. We swapped a little spit. Then she came back with her girlfriends on a Saturday night. We swapped a little spit. I was a gentleman. I think we took it out. I ate a monkey, but no sex. There was no condom. And I go back to Seattle, and the phone won't stop ringing. It's this broad, and she's really pretty. I mean, the girl was a fucking knockout and really sweet. And one day, 4th of July, she drove up from wherever she lived, 3 hours away, and me, her, Josh Wolf, and Malia, Josh's kid's mother, had like a 4th of July party. And they're like, what a nice girl. And I'm like, okay. And something was wrong with me. I had seen this girl like 8 times, and I never went for the monkey. Like, she was that hot.
Yeah.
We had swapped spit. We had gotten hot and sticky from time to time, but we never really did anything. And one night we're on the phone having a conversation, and I go, yeah, next week I got to go to San Francisco. And she goes, well, what do you think if I drive you? And I go, that's okay. You want to drive? And I'm like, oh my God, she wants to drive me. I had to rent a car.
Yeah.
She's saving me $400 fucking bucks. I go, if you want to drive, and I didn't think like I think now, or like you think when you're 40. I think, well, I was 30. It's a ride. I don't know what I'm getting myself into. I enjoyed that. Sure enough, she shows up on time, cooler, sandwiches, sundress, looking like a goddess. And as we're driving to San Francisco, at one point, something comes up about a blowjob, and she looks me straight in the face. And she goes, I'm really good at those,
Mm-hmm.
And I go, all right, when we get to the hotel, we'll see. So
I'll be the judge of that.
it's a Monday night open mic at the Punch. No, Sunday night was the Punchlines, and Monday nights was Cobb's, when that scumbag was up there. And he would make you sign your name on a list, and he wouldn't tell you what time you go up. And then he'd just come up to you and tap you on the shoulder. You know how many comics flew into that open mic and he didn't put up?
No.
Even though he told you on the phone he was
Who was
put
this?
you up. He quit. He quit. He was an old guy that ran Cobb's, real prick. And he was the one that told Ralphie, why did Joe take Ari and me on the road, that we were worthless. And we used to bust Joe's balls, and he had a crush on Joe. Because one day Duncan and Ari went downstairs to do radio with Joe, and that guy purposely brought a 2-seater. And he told Ari and Duncan he couldn't go. So Ralphie told me the story. I told Joe. Joe was like, come on, the guy wouldn't say that. I always knew the guy was a closet fag, for starters. So for months, every time we go to Cobb's, I tell him, how's your friend, Joe? I would just torment Joe. Joe, you know he wants to suck your dick. Like when he would come up, I go, Joe, you want me to stay? Like I would just, like.
Joe, you want me to stay?
Yeah, you want me to stay? I don't know what's going on between you two. And Joe was, he's not gay. I go, Doug, trust me. I know, but that dude was a scumbag, and he used to run an open mic on Mondays before Cobb's burned down. Because they Jewish Lightning, the first one.
Really?
The first one used to be down the corner in a warehouse by the chocolate.
Oh, really?
Guadalajara Square.
Guadalajara Square. What is it? No, what's the name of it?
The chocolate place.
Yeah, what's it?
Ghirardelli.
Ghirardelli. Guadalajara Square.
Whatever the fuck it is. I've been watching too much Narcos. And then up the fucking corner. Now it's up the corner. But they tried to light it on fire, whoever owns it, to try to get Jewish Lightning, and then they moved.
Yeah.
But it was then. And then the guy at the punchline, his name is on the tip of my tongue. He also told me on the phone, when you tell a young comic, you're going to put him up on the open mic, and you have a reference, Bert Kreischer. Oh, I love Bert. Yeah, Bert called. Come down Sunday night. I'll never forget him, too.
Yeah.
You would get there and say, what do I sign up? And he goes, there's no list. I'll put you up when I want to. And he turns his back on you and walk away. And you just stand there. You just stand there all fucking night. And he come up to you at one point and go, you're up next. I said, I'd give you 6, do 3. And you're like, I got a fucking hotel room for $40 that I had to beg and borrow for. Almost had to blow a guy. And fucking, you want to give me 3? I mean, that's what those 2 clubs were notorious for that.
That's fucking ridiculous.
So I said something to that guy. Like, you know me, I was crazy. And I had to say something to him. Like, hey, man, who the fuck do you think you are to pick us? You know, like, we don't have it hard enough. And he goes, get the fuck out of here. And I left. And then I saw him a year later at the Laugh Factory at the Monday Night Showcase. I was showcasing. And he was there with a bunch of, in those days, San Francisco would come down, 6 guys, and they would set up a showcase with Jamie Masada. And Jamie would decide who would make it. And then kids from Portland would come down.
Yeah.
I caught him at a San Francisco one, and he was bitching in the back that they wouldn't put his guys on. And I'll never forget walking up to him going, remember me, motherfucker? Did you see that 20?
Yeah.
And here you are sweating like a fucking pig. Don't feel good, does it? And he just fucking beamed at me, and I never saw him again. Be improv. Well, that fucking guy, when the club was great. The comics would all get their dick sucked. There was a time when comics were going down there and coming back with their dick leaking. From 6 blowjobs with 8 pieces of ass. It's a college town. Never for me. I'm never saying that it happened to me. It didn't happen to me. I'm saying that Tempe was a hot comedy club.
Sure.
They ran it on time. Danny Murray did a good job that way. But he fucking ruled with an iron hand. His staff hated him. There was no hang at the club afterward. And if you were a big-time headliner, he'd want to hang with you. So he'd already set the night up for you. So it's me, you, and Skakel. I take you guys down with me. Our plan is to do the fucking night and then go to this burger joint. And he'll come to you when I'm on stage and say, so are you guys ready to go out? And you're like, what are you talking about? And he'll go, I got a limo outside. They're waiting to take us 3 to a strip club in Scottsdale. And you 3 look at each other and you're like, I don't think that's the plan. He would do creepy things like that. And you get on stage and he would make you go out there with you. And he'd get like a VIP booth and he would start snorting blow. And I'd tell him not to do blow in front of Rogan. It was horrible.
Right.
I remember one night he wouldn't pay me because I didn't tell him where all the guys were. I didn't know where they were. Mike Young was fucking with him. Mike Young would get booked and lie to him and tell him, yeah, I'm going to bring down Leonardo DiCaprio and the guys from Entourage. And then he would disappear. So he thought Mike Young was with the Entourage guys, and he wasn't showing up. He must have called Mike Young 80 times that night. And the line of the year was like, if you don't call me right back, you'll never be on Letterman. You're a club owner in Tempe, Arizona. But that's how powerful he thought he was in his head. And those guys, like, he wouldn't let you drink on stage.
Right.
He didn't want women in the green room. You know, he didn't want thousands of things that any other improv owner. You know how many times people quit that club? George Lopez quit on a Friday night.
What? He had a weekend of gigs booked and
Sold out weekend, went up there on a Friday night. The guy was a known coke fiend. God rest his soul. You never heard this? George Lopez went up there. He got on stage and Dan was breaking his balls. And finally, in front of the owner, in front of everybody, he went up there and he goes, how you guys doing? This is a great club. I loved you. The general manager, owner here, Dan Murr. He goes, this is my impersonation of him. And he got on his hands and knees and opened up a aspirin bottle and put it on the thing and then made believe he was doing a line of coke and his nose got all white. And Dan Murr was in the back and his wig flew off. And he only had like 8 hairs left and 4 of them shot out of his cranium.
oh my God.
And fucking, he had got into an argument with George, and George goes, bitch, I quit. And he quit on a Friday night.
I didn't even know there was an option.
I love
He
it.
had wars with everybody.
Jesus.
He threatened me and Rogan one night.
For what?
The show was on Thursday, and we were taking the Wednesday night flight in. The Wednesday night flight was delayed, and they pushed us on a different flight. He started calling us to see where we were going. Like, where are you guys headed when you get here? Who knows? We're going to a hotel to check in. That's it. I don't fucking know. Well, I've got reservations for 4. And, you know, like, what? You know, maybe we don't want to. And I know Rogan didn't want to go to dinner. And I would just laugh. But I remember that I must have shut off my phone. When I got to Tempe, I put it on, and I had 20 messages from him. You better call me back right now. If not, it's contempt of contract. The show's not till Thursday at 8. We're coming in a night earlier just to fucking come in. He went off.
Jesus.
And the last thing, I played the messages for Joe. I go, you gotta hear this fucking lunatic. And Joe's like, I'm straightening him out tonight. And we got to the hotel, and there he is with some driver. I made plans at Casa de Fuji, the best steak in town. And Joe's like, knock it off. We're not going there. We're not thinking, I don't want to hang out with you. You're fucking creepy. Joe just went off on him, and that was it. He never bothered us again. Hello and goodbye.
Right.
He banned me because they fucked the chick upstairs, and he thought it was me. What happened was a chick went into the green room. She got hammered, and she passed out. We left. And one of the 18-year-old waiters came up and started fucking her. It was his virginity or something like that. So he kept booking Joe, but he wouldn't let Joe bring me.
What?
Because he says it was me that brought the chicken to the green room.
Right.
When in reality, she was there to see the star from Fear Factor. Right. You know what I'm saying? And Joe left her there. Like, the chick was annoying. Hot, but annoying.
Most hot chicks are annoying.
But she fell down and fucking passed out.
Jesus. And then now he's gone, and you can go to you do the Tempe Improv.
Now he's dead.
Oh yeah, now he's
Elvis is
dead.
dead. I
R.I.P.
don't feel so good myself. All that drama was because of nothing. But my point being, it's like when Catch a Rising Stars were out here. You had to call that guy, send him a tape, send him a Veils, get a reference. It was a year process.
Right.
Kevin Carney. That was his name, Kevin Carney. He booked you in Princeton, Vegas, at the Excalibur with the kids with the swords, and he booked you in Reno. And all that shit, and one day I got a call from Jimmy Schubert. And he goes, what are you doing tomorrow? I go, nothing. He goes, you're featuring for me in Reno. I Catch a Rising Star. So for 2 years, this guy drove me crazy. And all of a sudden, a headliner calls you and gets you in. I was never mad at Kevin Carney. After that, we became dear friends, and he booked me. But the point being is that comedy is very weird like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't get in. The guy don't take your calls. All of a sudden, Bill Burr calls me and says, I'm bringing him with me. And that's the end of the discussion. There's no girl 3 weeks
scary.
ago that was dressed to the nines at the Comedy Store with a guy. We were talking, having a great conversation, and she told me she was homeless. Remember the hooker?
Yeah, you told me about it.
Yeah, she was hooked.
Really?
She said she was homeless. She lived in her fucking car by the Saddle Ranch in the parking lot at the Saddle Ranch. I mean, guys, you know, and she wants to be an actress, but she thinks that you could just sign with an agency.
Wow.
She doesn't know that you have to go to acting class, and you know they think that they're confused. They're the prettiest girl in their neighborhood, and they come to LA and they don't know that every day a bus empties out 100 of the hottest women in the world come to fucking LA or Miami during model season. They go down to Miami. You know, it's just the way life is. But they think because they won most likely to succeed, they're gonna go to the Standard and then get a fucking job in a movie. Well, then 2 years later, you're crying that you sucked Harvey Weinstein's dick. Because the process is fucking, you got to go to acting class and learn how to act and book, and then agents will be interested in you. It's a tight fucking economy here. But just getting back to your question, it's not that you let yourself get to that level. It's what you're doing for your dream. Mm-hmm. If you think you're a good artist, whatever, and you want to go to Venice Beach, and you don't have enough money and nothing's going. Don't you hate people that look at you and go, you know what? It doesn't really matter because I'm moving to Omaha, Nebraska, February of 2021. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. Those people drive me crazy.
Yeah.
When somebody says to me, well, in a year and a half, we're moving to California.
What?
People who got to go, they go.
Yeah, exactly.
When somebody goes, they go. There's no looking back. There's no year to save money. Well, I need a year to put away money. You're just making excuses for yourself.
Exactly.
You're just making an excuse for yourself.
You're bullshitting yourself.
Take what you got. Go to grandma. Say, Grandma, you're going to die. I know you're going to leave me 500. Forget the 500. Give me 300 and we're square.
I agree.
Get the 300 from Grandma.
Oh, my God.
Borrow another 2 from a friend of yours. And $500, you come out here with your car. And that's what most people do.
Yeah.
Do I think it's the thing to do? If you really love it and you have a fucking plan, yeah. If you believe in what you're about to do,
Find a way.
you find the fucking way.
Yeah.
But if you're going to come out here because your cousin's friends with fucking Lee Syatt and he's going to hook you up.
Yeah.
They're going to hook me up, dog.
I hate people saying
Jake
that
will
shit,
make
too.
a call to the UFC. Jake knows people. I'll go in front of Jake. The best of people who come and try to impress you. I can't do nothing for you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I could do something for you. I can't. I know I can't. There's nothing I can do for you. I can open up certain doors for you, and you have to go through them like a fucking rhinoceros.
Yeah.
But I can't do nothing for you. You still got to put in the work.
Yeah.
And you still got to. Isn't this podcast better that you're not
For you?
high? Just say no to drugs, goddammit. I say it every fucking day. Just say no to drugs.
I can interact. Yeah. The conversation's better. Yeah.
Yeah. But Lee's going to do your bong hit.
Yeah.
I already did 2 bong hits.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
You did 2 half a little fucking fruitcake bong hits.
But I bet you get hit up all the time with the same shit. Like, I know for me, like, I get people, like, I can't even tell you how many messages I get with people who want me to introduce them to Sean Shelby or Dana, or like, hey, I've been fighting. I got 3 fights, or I want to be I fucking every day, and I'm like, again, it's like you gotta do the work. You gotta can you fight? Okay, like, you know what I mean? I may be able to introduce you to somebody, but it's not just gonna fucking in the snap of the fingers you're fighting in the UFC. It's not gonna happen, you know. Like, I get people hitting me about fighting in the Contender Series, and you know, get me on. You know what I mean? I'm sure you probably deal with the same shit, but it's
years ago. The best one I ever got for Rogan was a guy that told me, Mr. Diaz, I don't mean to bother you, but I keep sending Rogan messages and he won't get back to me. I mean, I used to get those all the time.
Yeah.
Rogan won't get back to me. I'm sure you have a way to get in touch with Dana White. Let me tell you my situation. I'm 14-0 with 16 knockouts. You know, I knocked out the judge. I knocked out everybody.
Yeah.
You know, Oh my God, this guy had a link on YouTube, and I went to him, and he had no fights on there. It was just him hitting the bag.
Oh, no.
He was tatted up from head to toe.
Yeah.
He had the knee brace on. He had the expensive shorts, the gloves, and he's beating the bag. And he goes, "This is pure power." And he's calling people out on the bag. And I'm like, if you're 14-0, you must have fight footage. Why would you send Joe Rogan a tape of you hitting the bag? So I thought he was just, I go, maybe the guy's creative. Maybe the guy's artistic. Maybe it's him talking to us first before his fight footage. It was 4 minutes or 5 minutes long. I wanted to shoot myself after I watched it because he suckered me in. I was waiting to see him narrate his own fights.
Yeah.
This is me in Japan. It's him, head kicking somebody. Or this is me in Russia and him taking somebody in a fucking single and submitting them with a fucking Kimura or something. It was just him on a bag going, nobody wants this right hand. Not TJ Dillashaw, not fucking Mighty Mouse. He called out John Jones. He called out Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
And he was doing nothing to the bag. I could see like if the bag blew up and feathers were everywhere. I mean, they're fucking retarded. When I saw the video, he was tatted from ankle to his neck. I go, oh, he had just done a shot of steroids. I mean, he was jacked to the fucking nines. He really didn't know how to punch. And I'm no fucking Jerry Cooney. I don't know nothing about boxing. But I know a punch when I see one.
Right.
Did you leave a comment?
Did I leave a comment? No. I would never fucking leave a comment. Never, ever.
No, like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen.
No. Those type of people, you leave a comment like that, the next thing you know, you don't know, but they jump out a window.
Jesus.
They're that crazy to send Joey Diaz a video to send to Dana White to show him how tough you are and that you were 14-0 and there's no fights. That guy jumps out a window or gets hit by a car that night on purpose.
Yeah.
Or takes his own life. You can't even reply to those people.
There was a guy, I probably shouldn't even say it, but he kept sending me emails saying someone was torturing him. It's like, you gotta make it stop, man. They're doing terrible things to me. I can't respond to that stuff. Like, there's this guy who told me he wanted to kill me once, but like that guy.
For what?
I don't know. He just sent me an email saying, I hope, like, it doesn't matter. But like, they sometimes get crazy stuff.
I'll tell you where I get the craziest stuff. Messenger. I don't know if Facebook does that on purpose.
Yeah.
But the creepiest stuff I get is every time I click the Messenger and there's 40 unread messages and you're stoned to the gills and you're reading. And some of them are nice American, just nice people.
Yeah.
I should say American, they're worldwide. But there's a ton of them. There's one guy now that I have no idea what he's talking about. So when they have no idea, I fuck with them even more. I tell them take the medication,
Yeah.
But I don't put them down. I just tell them, hey man, take the medication. I could see when somebody online is starting to lose it. Like at this point, you could see this is not going to end well. There's a guy that hits me up every time I go to New York City. I never hear from him year round. I hear from him the week I'm going to New York City. And it's always the same story. He wants help. He has a heroin problem. And he wants me to help him and bring him out here. And he wants to replace Lee. He would be better than Lee. And you got to hear this shit.
Damn.
And there's always a story. Like, I'm gonna be Ari's producer. So I called Ari and I go, you know who this guy is? He goes, no, he hit me too. About coming and watching me at the show. There's some crazy people out there. And if we get that, can you imagine poor Rogan?
No.
Have you ever seen when Rogan posts on Instagram?
Oh, it makes me feel better about myself.
It is something. There's times I just check his Instagram just to see what people say.
Yeah.
He could put a fucking picture of a dinosaur up. And he could be in one of his intelligence modes and go, well, let me put a picture of a scientist found 30,000-year-old elephant bones You know, he'll post something like that up. And there's people like, who's going to win Khabib or Conor? DMT, 100%. You know, they don't leave it alone with the DMT. That was 10 years ago.
I know.
Leave it alone. It's like when somebody calls me Big Pussy from The Sopranos, or somebody comes up to me now and says, I listen to the podcast all the time. You have any stars of death on you? I just look at them and ignore them. Because you're not listening to the podcast, because we haven't done a star of death in fucking a year now.
Yeah.
Only Lee's got a bag of stale.
Last bag, yeah.
And he's still eating those things.
Yeah, they work.
I don't ever want to see those fucking things again. They're the nastiest.
Yeah, they taste pretty shit, yeah.
Yeah, now they're a year old. They're fucking over expired.
I kept them in the fridge.
You kept them in the fridge. I had a dear friend here for years. I loved him with all my heart. Great comic, fucking superb writer. He wasn't overly exciting on stage, but he was a phenomenal writer. He knew how to write. I mean, the guy sold scripts. The guy sold a TV show. He was a phenomenal writer. There's no reason why that guy shouldn't be here today. But you want me to tell you how his ego was fanned? Let me tell you how his ego got flamed. He would open up for two people in particular. And they were huge acts. And part of his deal was that he would write for them, help them write their act, if he could feature for them and they paid him a little extra. He cut himself a nice little deal, and he would watch the headliner and write jokes for the headliner and insert tags and lines and different things to help the headliner out. But after the show, he would be standing there, you know, the headliner would be selling T-shirts, and he'd be standing there like a Mortovan, which I did for years, and when I opened for Joe Rogan. And you see people go up to Rogan, shake his hand, tell him how much they loved him, he was great, and then they'll walk over to me, and they would go, hey man, you did a great job. And then they would come over and whisper in my ear, you were a lot funnier than him. Keep it up. And now, as a young comic, you could take that two ways. You could understand what just happened. This is a guy that was a fan of Rogan's, and he wanted to talk to Rogan, so he blew smoke up his ass. And now to either make me feel right, make me feel, you know, okay about myself or whatever, he comes over and blows some smoke in my ass. Now, I could have gone home that night, called my wife and said, hey, you're not going to believe this. I fucking was up on stage with Rogan tonight, and 20 people fucking told me, well, let's say 3 people came up to me and said that. I'd exaggerate and said 40 people came up to me and told me I was better than Rogan all 5 fucking shows. Fuck this. I'm not opening for him no more. I'm going to go do my own fucking thing. Do you understand? I didn't do that because I knew they were blowing smoke up his ass. I watched it. You know, the same reason why I did not like the Carlos Mencia feud with Rogan. I saw how club owners were acting. When Rogan came to town, they talked bad about Carlos, and when Carlos came to town, they talk bad about Rogan. It's a business. What the fuck do you expect? When you get to that town, you're the best fucking thing on sliced bread because you're making that club owner money. But once you leave, he's got to play that same fucking game with the comic that's coming in. And listen, you know this going in. So don't ever feel bad, whatever you do, whether you're playing professional sports, whether you're an artist, whether you're a fucking comic, whether you're an actor. Don't ever feel bad when you realize that you're just a fucking meat bag with eyes.
Something that I've noticed with you, and tell me if I'm wrong, is you definitely take stand-up seriously. But to me, I think the difference between you and some people is you treat it like it's a job still. And some people are like, oh, I'm an artist. I deserve this. Or like to you, it's still like, this is just what I do for a living. And it's a little bit more black and white. It seems like, so you don't leave the room for you to get a little, to let the ego come in. Because it's just a job.
Well, when you realize that when you go to the Comedy Store and you look at the picture you look at the walls, you know, and you see the comics that have been there before you, you're going to find 3 or 4 comics that you either resemble body-wise, shape-wise, the way your material is, whatever. And then you realize that you're just replacing a void. Okay, you're just replacing a void. I'm not ashamed to say this. Okay? One of the funniest guys I ever saw on stage was Patrice O'Neal. Serious, straight up gangster, good guy on and off stage, would make you laugh off stage like he did on stage, was totally free. There's a special he did, The Elephant in the Room or something like that.
White Elephant, I guess.
It's one of the best fucking specials I've ever seen in my life, okay? Let's be honest. And God rest his soul, and God rest Ralphie's soul. Most of the people that are coming to see me today are coming to see me because there's no Patrice and there's no Ralphie.
That's what you think? Really?
The people were all in that same category. You know, they still have to fill the void. I fill that void right now. In 2 years, it'll be somebody else filling the void. But I know this going in. When I got to the store, I would look at Noe Gonzalez and see Angel Salazar. When I'd see Ralphie May, you ever go to the back of the Comedy Store, there's a picture of a big fat guy getting out of a car. He weighs about 500 pounds.
I'll have to look for it.
I forget what his name is. I'll point it out to you. Go in tonight to the kitchen and look at the back. There's a guy with a cowboy hat getting out of a car. He's 500 pounds. Ralphie replaced him. Wow. You know, when John Panette was on the downslope, who was hot? Ralphie. So everything, we're just replacing a void. Once you know all these things going in, why do you think I talk about knowing things going in? Knowing what your value is going in, knowing who the fuck you are when you go in, knowing where you stand. Keep your fucking mouth shut. All these things are part of it. Knowing who the fuck you are. Knowing what you stand for. Listen, I heard an expression when I was 13 years old, and I still use it today, and I use it on myself. We all put our pants on one leg at a time. You know, that's why to me, when I saw Richard Gere as a kid, I didn't go up to him and get an autograph or get a fucking picture. That's why all those things. Because at the end of the fucking day, whether it's Roberto Clemente, it's Hollywood Henderson, it's Lee Iacocca, it's Ross Perot, all the guys I look up to, at the end of the day, all put their pants on one leg at a time. What the fuck are you doing? Jumping up and down for, I'm going to see this movie and I'm camping out 24 hours before. Are you fucking retarded? You see them camping out for you, you fucking jerk off? The fuck is wrong with you? We all put our pants on one leg at a time. You ever go into a job and the boss, he's the boss. Shh, you can't say this around. You know what? One day you look at him and go, fuck him. Fuck this douchebag. He puts his pants on one leg at a time, just like I do. Once you get all these basic fucking philosophies in your head, the ego cannot take over. Your ego at no part will take over because respect is part of it. You know, when do you start disrespecting people? When you think
I went out and did a meet and greet with the audience in Chicago because it was like, they were like, you know, there's still, it's a 3,500 seater. There's still, you know, 700 people waiting to say hi. And the way my brain works, I know this isn't healthy and I know this isn't popular and I know this isn't what everyone else does. But part of me says, if I paid to go see one of my favorite comics, it would be cool if he would take the time to come out and try to say hi to me. And so I went out, I did a meet and greet with everyone waiting in the street. They had like security guards and barriers and cops. But you just go out and you just go, let's circle them out. Get your phones in selfie ready mode. Let's do selfies. And people were cool. And I probably did maybe, I don't know how many people, but I did a few hundred people of selfies in a really short time. But I don't know if I can do that every fucking night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
I enjoy doing the pictures. You know? Some clubs now, because we do clubs.
Yeah.
I don't want to do a theater. So the clubs will tell you.
I mean, we talked about this.
We talked about this.
Yeah.
The club will tell you, Joey, I'm sold out the second show. You can't go out there.
Yeah.
You can't go out there. You'll cause fucking pandemonium. It's too slow.
Yeah.
The show won't start till 11:30. do us the favor. Just fuck it. Go out the second show. And that's what I do. They're clubs. There's nothing you can do. I love to meet them. I love to fucking
If you do the meet and greet, then you are literally doing the meet and greet and then walking right on stage.
On stage.
You don't get any time to like sit back, relax,
And
go over your
what kills me
notes.
is that the people that are coming in for the second show will come and take pictures.
Oh, that drives me fucking
And it drives
nuts.
you crazy. So now you can't do it. You can't do it. Because it was supposed to be 100 people. But now it turned into 350. And you see the people taking pictures and going in and going. So you took a, you know what I'm saying? So now you cannot do it. You cannot do it. I love to work. And I love doing comedy. But here's the fucking bottom line. I'm an older gentleman now. And you know what, man? It burns me the fuck out. And I'll tell you what else. I'm not a feature no more. If I was featured, I wouldn't give a fuck because it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're not there to see me. I don't give a fuck. When I was a feature, yeah, I'll come out and drink all night and I'll work every week because it doesn't matter. I don't have to take pictures. You know how many people want to take pictures with me? 3 losers that don't like the headliner but like me. That's it. You're better than the headliner. We liked you a lot. Oh, that's great. And these are the guys that I'm going to call CAA on Monday and tell them that they like me more than the headliner. Shut the fuck up. You know. But that's the truth. So you cannot give your all, and like that's why I don't do it every week.
It's a lot. I look at those guys like when you hear about like, you know, those Disney stars or the Jonas Brothers or you know those people who do the meet and greet and who give everything to their fans like Dane used to. I go, man, that's a lot of Albert. It's a reason. I mean, Segura's not a dick. He just goes, I can't. You physically cannot do it. You know. I remember texting Rogan one time. I was like, "Hey, what are you?" I was at the Wilbur. I was like, "Am I supposed to do a meet and greet? There's 1,200 people here."
Yeah.
He was like, "You can't do a meet and greet for a theater, and you can't at the Wilbur." When I did the Wilbur last time, I did one show, early show, couldn't do a meet and greet, and there were people upset with me, like upset. They bring presents, they draw drawings, they make a care basket, and they're like, "I just wanted to say hi." And then the late show, I was like, "Fuck it, I'll go to the bar down the street." If you want to meet me and say hi, go down to the bar. I showed up. I no lie, there was probably 500 people arm to arm in a bar. And I was like, maybe that was a bad idea.
Well, see, the problem at the bar is that I have a problem with this.
Yeah.
I'll meet you at a bar. But there's only one problem. As soon as the first camera comes out, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
That's it. That's my deal. I'll meet you at the bar.
Yeah.
But as soon as the first camera comes out, or the first stupid fucking question about the Joe Rogan podcast, episode 48.
Jesus.
When I was on there with Bert Kreischer and I talked about the Martians landing in Cuba, that's when I gotta go. Like, I gotta go. I just did 2 shows. I don't know what I talked about in episode 484 of Joe Rogan. Nor do I want to remember.
So many people tell me about Joe Rogan, and I go, he's a great guy. And they're like, no, tell me more
The best
about
is when
it.
they come up to you and go, hey, man, tell Joe to come on back and see us. Yeah, I'll tell him right tomorrow morning.
Hey, I got this for you. Would you take this to Joe for me?
No.
Nope.
Take it yourself. Mail it to him yourself.
Fucking God forbid, I'm going to fucking...
You know, yesterday we had a conversation about the emails that we get.
Yeah.
And like the creepy emails you get from people demanding things. Like, oh, well, you know, I'm doing this thing and I want you to give it to Joe and tell Joe that I need this. And you're like, fucking tell Joe yourself. First off, Joe doesn't answer a fucking email. Yeah. Joe doesn't respond to an email or a fucking tweet. He knows better.
Yeah.
He keeps them way at fucking distance. We're the only assholes that talk and say hello and shit like that. He does meet and greets, which he's great at. He's really good at meet and greets, but he don't take shit at a meet and greet. He don't take no shit.
He is very quick. He's very
quick.
courteous.
He's very
like,
quick.
All right, come on, let's do it. Awesome.
Boom,
Thank you so much, brother.
See
Thank you very
later.
much.
Hey, man, excuse me. That time you talked about the tub, get the fuck out of here. Who knows what the fuck I said? That was 8 years ago.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a tub now?
Those are fucking hilarious when you see the guy go, I just have one question about chemtrails. If you could talk to Eddie about this. And Joe's like, buddy, I'm sorry. It's over. Thank you so much for the picture. Who's next? Let's go. I wish I could be more like that.
I'm like that. I have to tell him, listen, no, not tonight, guys. No, knock it off.
My problem with pictures, my problem with like going to hang out at a bar and people bringing out cameras is that it's always the girl who wants the 5th or 7th picture. She wants to keep taking pictures. You're like, you got one already. You got one taken. Like, yeah, let's.
Then they go get people.
Oh,
hey, you recognize this guy from Bird is the Conqueror? And the guy's like, not really.
Yeah.
Can you take a picture with my friend? He doesn't know. Yeah. Why do you bring him over here soliciting for me? Why are you soliciting fucking pictures? If I see somebody sitting in a conversation, I do not bother. If I see somebody involved in a conversation, my world is done. My minute to talk to them, that's how my mom raised me. I don't know how your mom raised you, that when somebody's in a conversation, you have the right to come over and tap somebody on the shoulder and ask them to take a picture. That's completely wrong in my world.
Yeah.
The one
Completely wrong in my world.
The one that gets me, because I love going to see comedy, is when I'm in the back of a show, and like when I've had people when other comedians are on stage try to take a picture, and it doesn't happen to me that often, so I still like taking pictures just because it's weird, but to do it in the middle of a show when
a comic's on stage, they have no fucking class. No class. It's like the other night we went to Irene's room. The what's the name of it?
Roomy Cafe.
The Roomy Cafe, and there was a guy talking while a girl was on stage, like a comic, talking like about his performance. I got bird in my next. Yeah, thank you. That's it.
Yep.
Bird in my next. Is it okay if I do the joke about the pigeon? What'd you say? Is it okay if I do the joke about the pigeon? I really want to try it. I'm doing an HBO showcase, and I'm shut the fuck up. Yeah. Shut the fuck up. There's somebody on stage. Do you not see somebody on stage? What's with the fucking questions? They drive me fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Or they eat. Or they just do little things that you sit there and go, is this necessary?
There was a guy at Roomy coloring or drawing the other day.
You know, and listen, I know it's an open mic. You know how many fucking poetry readings I snuck into in Boulder when I first started comedy?
Yeah.
But after a while, I got the hint and I stopped going. They didn't want me there. If you show up with a guitar to an open mic, I'm gonna break it over your fucking head. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially like a musician. Like, if it's a comedy open mic, don't come in here with folk music. I don't want to hear your fucking folk boring music, man. I really don't. Save it for music. I don't go to music open mics for a reason.
Yeah.
Because I'm disrespecting you guys. Why would you bring a guitar and want to play it at the Roomy fucking Cafe for when it's all comedians trying to... It's getting weirder and fucking weirder out there.
Oh, fuck.
The people are the guys that bring the guitar on the plane. Those are the best. They're not even in a fucking band. Like, why are you guarding this guitar? And then they sit all the way in the back. So that means they got to take a whole fucking space for their measly $233. They got to take the whole fucking space with their fucking wooden guitar because it's a piece of shit and they can't check it. It drives me crazy when I see a guy checking a skateboard, a guitar, or a surfboard. I want to fucking shove it up their fucking ass.
I flew with a skateboard once.
I believe it.
And the guy, and I was
every time I see it with a skateboard, I make believe like I didn't see the skateboard.
I got on the plane and I had a skateboard, and the guy said to me, "Going to see your son?" And I was like, "What?" I look like a divorced dad. He just goes, "Going." I was at the bar. He's like, "Going to see your son and get him a skateboard?" And I was like, "No, it's my skateboard." And he was like, "Oh, you skateboard?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "How old are you?" I was like, 43. He was like, "Wow, you gotta be careful, man. You could really hurt yourself." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And then I was like, and then I looked at it, I was like, I don't look like I'm cool with a skateboard. I just look like I'm taking this home for my son. You know, when you see those dads coming home from drop off on their scooters, like the dad's kicking the scooter home, and you can say, "Oh, the kid rode the scooter to school, the dad's taking it home." So that's why I stopped. Now the girls have taken over.
Burr's always been kind of the hero of comedy to me. I'm like, that's the guy. He's the fucking... He, to me, is the guy, you know? I always loved Chappelle. I liked rock. But even before Bill was famous to the country, comics always knew him. He's been doing comedy for so long. Now everybody knows Bill. I go anywhere and somebody knows Bill Burr. But you could ask someone 15 years ago, those numbers were much different. You know, I mean, fucking Rogan was just talking to me the other day about, he was like, I only started doing theaters like, I don't know, what did he say, 5-6 years ago he stopped doing clubs? I was like, wow, that's such a short, like I thought it was longer. He's like, no. And now he's doing fucking arenas. Like that. I mean, the way your brain works of how long someone's been big in comedy, it's hard to tell. You know what I mean? Unless you're them, it's from an outside perspective. I thought Joe's been doing big shit for so long just because it feels that way.
No, he's like a very old school guy. So
yeah.
He like the control of it. It's weird that he's doing arenas because I know that. But like I don't know how many theaters I've done, not on my own, but with other people. And I'm just getting the hang of them now.
They're tough, right?
It's a different animal.
Different beast,
it's a
man.
different animal.
Yeah.
But once you get the hang of them, you're like, okay, I could do this. You know, when you think of Sebastian being at the Garden, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I still
How
think
do
that.
But when you work yourself up to that, you'll see it. It's nothing.
Yeah.
You know, the guys like me and you that have never gone out in front of 18,000 people at one shot and learned to control 18,000 people and see how long it takes them to hear your joke and how long it takes for you to get the laughter back.
Right.
It's a bigger venue, you know. It's
I'm
not,
learning that.
It's not a smaller room where it's
It's bounce, bounce, bounce,
you're not
bounce,
in the
bounce.
original room. You can't jump on them like that. You lose them.
Right.
You'll lose them unless the sound system is
Fucking.
Which I got to tell you, compared to 10 years ago, yeah, you'll hear somebody burp now. You'll hear their fucking intestines. You know,
Right.
We have that technology.
Yeah.
You know, people said that went to see Sebastian. Yeah, you watched him, but you also watched the monitor.
Yeah, that's
You
the
know,
thing. Yeah.
What did you do if you had $50 tickets? You watched the monitor. But the sound was great. But as a comic, you think of being in that arena.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the Garden. I'm saying that arena of 15,000 plus people in a room. It's a lot of fucking people.
Oh, yeah.
God.
We did
A lot of people to control. You did what?
13,000 in San Diego, me and
One
Joe.
show.
On
13
420.
Or two shows.
One show. 13,000.
13,000 tickets.
Yeah, in San Diego. In the round. And then 2 weeks ago, we did Chicago, and that was 9,000.
It's one show.
One
So
show?
it's at 9,000. 9,000.
9,000.
I still remember going to the Vic with him.
Oh, yeah.
And him barely selling out the Vic.
Yeah.
Maybe 6-7 years ago.
Yeah, and then look at that. And then last year, we
it's
did,
just-
just 1 year ago, we did Chicago Theater, 2 shows. Sold the fuck out, sold the fuck out.
That's
Those
it.
are 4,200 a piece or something like that.
Chicago Theater's 42 or 32?
Maybe 32.
32.
And man, it going from that to go back the next year to play the UIC Pavilion to do 9,000 was fucking. It just arenas feel so different. I don't know how to say it, but like clubs to theaters, it's different, but it's still intimate in a way. Theater, but arenas have no intimacy, none. You can't really connect with the front rows. Theaters, you still can kind of connect with the chunk of people in the orchestra rows, but arenas, the stage is so fucking big. I mean, the stage is 30 feet by 20 feet. It's fucking huge.
That's huge.
It's fucking huge.
That's huge.
I mean, what's a store? The original room stage might be
4 feet by 8.
Yeah, man, it's
It's a
fucking.
4 by 8.
There's nothing there.
It's a piece of plywood.
Right,
with
it's right there. And even the main room stage is not even that big. It can't be that much
No.
big. It's just higher up with a bigger room.
What was the size of the stage? 30 feet.
30 feet by 20 feet. Something like that.
Jesus, you got to run back and forth.
Yeah, it's
By the time
absurd.
you get off stage, how's the education of Joe Rogan been?
Phenomenal.
It's an education and a half. isn't it?
Phenomenal. Yeah. I mean, he's watching Joe, being friends with Joe and watching Joe grow himself in stand up to get to these next levels and me being there to watch it. It's, I don't know I can't really put it in words. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to watch. Somebody that I like as a human and as a comedian grow to this next level. I'm physically watching it with my own eyes. I mean, he's never done arenas before. I'm watching him do them now with me. And I texted him today because they just released tickets for him and Chappelle are doing Tacoma, the Tacoma Dome. I think it's like 20. I have no fucking idea. I think it seats 18,000 or some shit like that. And I texted him. I said, dude, what the fuck? And he goes, right? Isn't this fucking wild? I was like, that's him and Chappelle doing an arena at a scale that I don't think comedy's been this way. And not since I've been in the game. I've never heard.
Since the late 90s.
Yeah.
You got to remember one thing. Growing old sucks.
Yeah.
Really does.
Sure.
Suck. You're back. You go to bed earlier. Your dick don't get hard like it used to.
Yours does.
Mine does.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
But I will tell you something. What the best thing about getting old is seeing people's growth.
Yeah.
It keeps you alive. Here, I'm going to blow your mind. First time I went out on the road with Joe, he was a $3,000 a week comic, and he couldn't sell out 7 shows at the Improv in Miami.
Right.
Sold out the weekend,
Right.
but Thursday was men's and men's, Wednesday was men's and men's. So that's been a growth of 21 years.
Yeah.
If you're not into this for 21 years, it's not going to work. If you're not all in with both your guns, feet, well, I don't care what you don't like. Sorry. Doesn't really matter. I'm sure along the way, Joe didn't like 1,000 things either.
Right.
But I want you to fathom that around your head. When he was on news, ask him. When he was on news radio, one of the first gigs he did was Caroline's, and he lost money on the gig because the plane ticket was more than what he got paid.
Right.
Plane ticket was more
than they paid him.
than what he got. Now, this is at the 98. He had been doing comedy maybe 12 years.
Yeah.
So if you're willing to take a loss in comedy in your 12th year, what are you talking about?
Yeah, you must really fucking care.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's wild.
So that's what, watching him doing what he's doing, him watching us, me and Ari were his bag handlers.
Yeah.
And Dust, and it was me, Ari, him, and Red Band. Red Band was the camera tech. Duncan, me, and Ari. 3 guys in front of him doing 10 apiece.
It's wild.
That's fucking. And people used to tell him, you shouldn't bring Diaz and Ari, they're losers. And he used to go, wait.
Just fucking wait.
Just fucking wait. I see it. You guys don't see it because all you're looking at are ticket sales.
Right.
But I see it from the comedy. They're killing at the comedy store. Shut the fuck up. And that was it. The education of Joe Rogan, I think 40% of when I leave on Thursday and come back on Sunday is based on Joe Rogan, how he taught me to live on the road, act. I was telling somebody here the first time he called me and said, let's go work out. I'm like, are you fucking retarded? We're on vacation.
Yeah.
Who works out on vacation?
Yeah.
Work out. Go fuck yourself. Work out. You'd see him an hour later, all sweaty, telling you how good he feels. Yeah, I feel better. I've been over here watching Law and Order, smoking reef, eating a sausage sub from the pizza place, and you're the other sweating like a pig. Guess what? I fucking work out on the road now. You know what I'm saying? Now you got to get on stage. Your legs got to be strong. All those little things I learned from Joe. Joe is an educator. This whole thing is a journey, full education.
Yes.
That's all this is. That's all. And at the end of it all, you'll go, Jesus Christ, I'm really fucking happy I did that. And I'm happy I didn't take that construction job my uncle had. I would have never been a carpenter.
True.
And I would have still been freezing my ass off.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing people have to look at. You have to look at the time. Like I said it before, put your head down, put a fireman's hat on. That shit, the way it's designed so shit falls off it.
Right.
That's what being a stand-up is. As a matter of fact, that's what life is you taking hits and keep going forward.
Yeah.
Your cat dies, your hours get cut. You know what I'm saying? You didn't get the promotion you wanted. What are you going to do? Fucking put a note on your jacket and jump off a bridge every time that happens? You'll be out of fucking lives.
Right.
So that's all this is.
Take the hit.
But the fucking Rogan education was the one that really, he hit the last nail of the work ethic, how everything had to go for me. I knew what I had to do. He turned the last screw, and I was off and running after that.
Yeah.
And Ari was off and running after that. He just had certain principles. Rogan's a straight, decent guy, very generous. I'm a criminal. We have nothing in common.
Right.
We only have one thing in common, Joe and I, how holy we hold the religion of comedy.
Yeah.
How sacred we hold the religion of comedy. I don't give a fuck about anything, my friend. I really don't. I give a fuck about that little girl. I give a fuck about my wife, but if she wants to go, she got to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's so many things in this life that are replaceable. Comedy is never going to be replaceable in my life or your life.
No.
It's never going to be replaceable. I never wanted it to be replaceable. I could care less.
Yeah, all the other
Care
shit
less about
sucks.
A baseball game or a when you fall in love with comedy, nothing else matters.
Yeah.
There's only one thing that matters: the pussy you're gonna get afterward, and the joint you're gonna smoke before. What the fuck are you giggling about? Nobody...
Why did you like him? What did
He did an error.
I knew a second ago, but now keep going from where you told it, because then
You know that little forehead you got?